Hello, hello. Hey, Isa. You're early, man. How are you doing? Let me know if the game sound or my mic sound sounds good. Sounds okay. So today is gonna be just a very short stream, mainly just to answer questions here. Probably I'm aiming to end in like half hour or at most 1 hour. Yeah. So first of all, I know you have a question with your QQ. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you. Yes, I remember. Now it's your noon time, right? 12:30. Yep. So yeah. For QQ, I know you have a question about her. So let me ask you this. Do you want me to explain like how she works as well, like her basic mechanic of how that character works, or do you just want to know the build? Please. Mechanics and possibly a build that is easy for you to break. Gotcha. Okay, so basically everything. Okay. So first of all, let me explain to you about her basic ability first then. So I think it's actually easier to explain in battle compared to just reading. Let me go into battle. Final one. Oh wait, the first one has weak against quantum dice. Here, okay. Make sure I don't die, so I run double tank. And then just plus a buffer. Who should I use for the buffer usually? I normally just want lightning. Immune. Yeah, immune sounds good. The bottom part is whatever. Actually, Asta's better. 19, I'll go 13. Okay, let me go in the fight real quick and then I'll explain in the battle about her basic concept. Okay. But real quick, once her turn is up, I'll explain her concept. Oh, I can explain actually here. So, you see there is like a mahjong tile right below Qinjue here. And if once she get four of the same kind, she will do her basic attack as an enhanced buff. And how you get this mahjong tile is every time one of your teammate move, she will draw one tile randomly, and the tile can be different. Have three types, three different kinds. So when she don't have four tile, she will just draw one, basically a +1 to her hand. So that now you see she have two tile, and then once my fire MC move here. Now she have three tile, so she drew one card. And then when I next turn, when it comes to Qinjue herself turn, she will also draw another tile. See, now she draw four of the same kind tile. Now her basic attack get enhanced into this. It's a blast attack, which do this much damage, and also it's a blast attack, so do adjacent damage as well. So this is her main damage, meaning that you want to aim for using her basic enhanced basic attack as much as possible to deal the most damage. Her ultimate, to compare, is not as much damage as the enhanced basic here. You see that 216% single target here versus the ultimate is 160%. So yeah, if you're looking for single target damage for Xinque, enhanced basic is the way to go. And you want to look for that as much as possible. And this was your main and butter here. And once you use that, you will be back. Hey, Reverby? Is that how I call you? Reverby? Love your video, it helps me a lot. Thank you. I'm glad that it helps you. Yeah, today's stream is a short stream, but it's also helping, mainly answering any question that you guys have. and mainly just helping people out. Glad to do that. But back to Qinque here. After she used her enhanced basic attack, you see her Tao is gone, all 4 is gone, and now it's back to 1 card. Now, if I keep doing this again, back to her turn, doing that. Now it's about her turn. Here now her turn is up. Now she's back to 4 card, 4 Tao, the Mahjong. But now you see she don't have all 4 of the same kind. So that way, if you do basic attack now, she will only be doing the basic, this one, the top part, which is only 90% damage to a single target. This is very bad. However, by doing the basic attack, you get 1 skill point, right? You get 1 skill point. But if you were doing earlier, if you were doing the enhanced version of the basic attack, you do not gain skill point. So your skill point will be you will +0, but you will not use a skill point either. So it's just it's a +0 -0. If I didn't respond right away, it's lagging for me when viewing your video. It's fine, totally fine. Yeah, understandable. Yeah. Okay, so that's about her basic attack. And now moving on to her skill. Using her skill will consume 1 skill point, which makes her draw 2 tile right away. Wait, is her enhanced attack count as basic attack? So the muscular set could work? Yes, it is. Her enhanced basic attack still counts as attack. However, it does not consume a skill point, nor it generate a skill point. Meaning if you use her basic attack, you will just have +0 skill point. Versus if you use her regular version of the basic attack, that will be +1 skill point. And both are considered basic attack. Meaning the muscular set does work on her. Yes. So yeah, back to the skill part here. So once you use the skill, you consume 1 skill point, you draw 2 cards immediately to random type, and you get this damage percent 21% buff until the end of the current turn. It only lasts for this 1 specific turn. It will not carry over. And this can stack up to 4 times. The turn will not end after the skill is used. Meaning that if you use your skill 4 times right now, you will get the buff 4 times, and you will stack up that damage buff 4 times, and then your next attack is gonna do big damage. And this is 21% times 4. That's 84% damage buff if you use your skill 4 times in a row. But of course, that's gonna consume you 4 skill point, which is a lot. Literally consume everything. And do you want that? It's really situation, like case by case situation. So I'm gonna use it once right now and see what happens to the Tao. Right now, my current Tao have 2 of the same type and 1 of each other type. So we see the total of 3 different types here. So I use 1 draw card here. See what happens. Now you see it change. I have 3 of the same type now, and 1 of the circle type. So what happened after you have 4 cards already? You draw 2 cards, meaning that you now have a total of 6 cards in your hand, right? But your hand limited only to 4. Meaning that you will discard 2 cards. And which 2 you discard? You are not the one to choose. The system will choose for you. They will discard, it says here, the talent here. Let's see. Is that here? Consume all cards and hold up to 4 at the same time. I don't think it says here specifically, but what happened is if you have already reached 4 max and you draw any more cards are more than your hand's limited size, then you will randomly discard the cards that are your currently the least amount of type. So for example, right? Earlier we have 2 of the same type, right? 2 of the same type. Let's call it type A, and then this circle type is like type B, and then the other one we just discard was type C. Earlier we have 2 type A, 1 type B, and 1 type C. And once we drew 2 more cards, now we have 3 type A, and then we don't know how many type B and type C we have. But all we know is that type B and type C, they were not 3. their number were not 3. They were either 1 or 2. And that's why they randomly discarded the type that you have the least in your hand and keep the type that you have the most of the same copy, which is type A in this case. That's why I have 3 type A now and discarded the type B and now left with the type C only. So if I do it again, my hand did not change. Why is that? It's because the 2 cards I just drew, none of them were type A. I either drew 2 type B or I drew 2 type C, or I drew 1 type A, 1 type B and 1 type C. So because of that, they help me discard the 2 cards I drew automatically, and I'm left with the exact same hand here, even though I used up a skill point already for this. Now I drew again. Unfortunately, no type A at all. That's 3 draw already. If I draw again, now I have 4 times already, and I still don't have it. That's the bad thing about Qinque. It's very, very RNG based. Like, she can be very strong, or she can be very weak, depending on your RNG. In this case, you see I used my skill 4 times, and I see the damage boost here from her skill. It boosts up 31% for each stack, and stack up to 4 times already. At this point, even though I'm going to use my skill again, I can draw more card, but I'm not gonna get this damage buff anymore. So what do you want to do in this case? Well, you can either simply take the L and just do the basic attack here. That's gonna do like what, 90% of the basic attack damage, and call it a day. That's the L part. But if you have Tingyun here, what you can do is use your Tingyun ultimate on Qinque. Give her enough energy to use her ultimate right now. Now when she uses ultimate right now, her turn is not over yet. So her skill, damage buff, is still here. The 4 stack is here. And then what her ultimate do? She do AoE damage to everyone, and also instantly obtain 4 cards of the same suit, the same type. So you have a 4 for Kai immediately in your hand, regardless of what type of hand you currently have. It will discard your entire hand and give you a perfect hand right now. So that's what I'm going to do here. And watch this. It is still my turn after ultimate. My turn is still here. And you can see my damage boost from the skill, the 4 stack, is still here. And that ultimate just took it benefit from my 4 stack of damage boost here. And also, I get 4 for Kai. I can use my enhanced basic attack now with a big damage here. So that's one of the tricks to play QQ, is that you want to utilize your ultimate at the perfect timing to give you the maximum advantage depending on the situation. And that situation can change. That was just one of the examples of when is the perfect time to use your ultimate. It's after you using your skill 4 times already to draw 4 cards, but you did not get the perfect hand. So you use your ultimate first to get a perfect hand, and then pop with the blast attack to do a big damage. That was the first situation. Now let me restart this run to give you a second situation where it's like a perfect time to use her ultimate. Over to the same team here. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. Her technique, she will start with 2 cards, to draw 2 cards already. So right at the beginning of the battle, she already have 2 cards in her hand, random 2 cards. And by using her technique, she draw 1 more card. Is it 1 or 2? Check. Oh, draw 2. Okay. So at the beginning of the battle, she have 1. She start off with 1 because that's your first teammate's turn. So she draw 1 card immediately, and then her technique is able to draw 2 cards right off the bat. This one I find it is not that helpful. It's something, but it's not really that helpful. So you can sometimes if you don't really have the technique point to spam with, you can just ignore it. And let me do the same thing here. And let me get her energy up first. Energy up. Alright, I'm just gonna do a basic attack here to get more energy. We buff her again. Okay, waiting for her next turn. Okay. Next turn. Alright, here we go. Alright, so here you see I have two tiles of the same type, and then one of each type. So again, normally you want to draw a card, right? To get your hand first. You're gonna try to draw, and here you got it. You got it before you reach the max stack. Right? You have 2 stacks here. So once you have 4 of the same type, you are no longer able to use a skill anymore. It will not allow you. So meaning that you cannot stack your skill damage bonus up to 4 stacks in this turn once you have the 4 of the kind. So that's another bad thing about Qinque, is that you cannot always guarantee to have the maximum damage bonus from your skill use. It's also RNG. How many stacks you can get is RNG based. You can get either 0 stack or you can get up to 4 stack, and you cannot control it pretty much. So once you finish drawing, and now you also have your ultimate up, in this situation, what do you want to do? Well, if you use your ultimate first, and then use your blast attack here, you will only get 2 hits out, right? And after that, you will start over again from 0. However, in this case, if you do your basic attack first, enhanced basic attack first, and then chain into your ultimate, you see how after my basic attack, all the tile is gone. And then once I use up my ultimate here, I get 4 of a kind back again, immediately. So, after this happened, when my Qinque's next turn, she will immediately have the enhanced basic attack ready. So I don't need to draw a card over again. I have a guaranteed enhanced blast attack right now, right here. So that's the second trick to use Qinque. When you have both your ultimate and your enhanced blast attack ready, same time, you want to do your enhanced blast attack first, and then chain into your ultimate immediately, so that your next turn will have another enhanced blast attack ready to use. So that will make a total of 3 hits total, instead of earlier it was just 2. And that's all the tricks about Qinque. Like I said, she's very RNG to play, and she can be strong or she can be bad, depending on how good luck you are in that run. And by having her Eidolon 6, I should go over the Eidolon one by one. First Eidolon, ultimate deals 10% more damage. This one is nothing, just a nice bonus, but not a must-have at all. 3D normal. Second one, every time she draw a tile, it's trigger. So every time your teammate move, or every time you use your skill, right? In those cases, she immediately regenerates 1 energy. Well, this sounds good, right? But it's just 1 energy. Come on, seriously. They should have made this like 5 energy or something to make it actually good. 1 energy, seriously? Alright, move on. Next, ultimate level, doesn't matter. Next, this is the key. the best eidolon for QQ. After this character skill is used, after I use draw a card with your skill, there is a 24% fixed chance to gain this autarky. It's just buff, right? Which lasts until the end of the current turn. Okay. Now with this buff on, use basic attack or enhance basic attack. Immediately launch one follow-up attack on the same target that deal quantum damage equal to 100% of the previous basic attack or enhanced basic attack damage. What does this mean? This means that, so first of all, it's fixed chance, meaning that this is not stackable. So no matter how many times you use your skill in the current turn, no matter how many times you use the skill to draw how many cards, you will always only have 24%, always. This will not stack up to 100%. But once you have this buff, and if you pop it, if you success with the 24%, what will happen is it will basically do double damage. This 100% is not a multiplier. This 100% means literally whatever you just did right now, she will do it again. If she wins the coin toss here, the 24% coin toss, she'll do it again. So that is literally double your damage right there. So that means if you have her E4, you use your skill to draw a card until you have your max hand, right? Until you have a max four kinds of the same type. So you use your enhanced blast attack. You pop it and you win the coin toss of 24%. You will do another enhanced basic attack right after it as a follow attack. So she will do 2 enhanced attacks in the same turn. How many damage is that? Can I see here? That was like what, 216% times 2, 432% damage in this one turn. 432%. And they both can crit at the exact same crit rate and crit damage that you have. And this is a follow attack, meaning that if you have Jin Yuan before dawn, the Jin Yuan light cone, if you have that light cone, let me see, where is that light cone at? If you are, I mean, actually, that's a very pay to win light cone, but I'm just saying, if you have that light cone, or actually, what's it? This one. If you're using this one, or any light cone that says benefit your follow-up attack, the second hit is going to benefit from it. Only the second hit, not the first hit. So that's why for Jin Yuan light cone, the before dawn, is very, very good on QQ as well. And people are using that on QQ, E6 QQ to do like 0 cycle 1. That weapon is the best weapon for QQ. And back. Oh, you got E6, right? Yeah, she's level 20. That's fine. You have time and the rest to level up. But go over her E6, E5, whatever. E6. Recover 1 skill point after using enhanced basic attack. This is also huge because, like I mentioned earlier, when you use your enhanced basic attack, you are just getting 0 skill point. You are not gaining anything, not losing anything. Sit at 0. But with the E6, she actually +1 when she uses her enhanced basic attack. So she will basically what that means is she will get +1 skill point no matter what she do in her turn. Because at the end of the day, you're always gonna end her turn with a basic attack. Because her skill does not end her turn. And ultimate does not end her turn. So you will always end up using a basic attack no matter what at the end of her every turn. This E6 makes her able to get +1 skill point every turn, guaranteed. So that's why for E6 QQ, she is I would say she is very, very good DPS. And as for her build, okay, as for her build, so the best in slot is obviously the quantum set. It's mainly her the 4P set that ignore the defense. And this is literally the best set for any quantum DPS getter, I would say. It doesn't matter who, it's just much better than any other set. It's much better than the MoC gear set as well, because if you think about it, this gives you 10% damage bonus, right? Which is the equivalent to the second part here. Increase basic attack damage, increase by 10%. So they are both 10%. This power is already equivalent to each other. So what's the difference? 12% attack versus 20% defend down. Which one you think is better? Well, obviously 20 is better than 10. I mean, 20 is better than 12. And also, ignore defense is huge because it is an individual multiplier in the damage formula. Compared to attack, you already have a ton of attack from your gear as well. So you don't really need any more attack normally. And this ignore defense is huge. That's why you want to always run the 4-piece quantum set on check. As for the stats go, main stats wise, same as any other DPS, crit rate or crit damage main stats. On the boot, you want to have an attack boot, not a speed boot. I would say speed boot you can consider speed boot, but if you have E6, you should just go for attack because first of all, you don't want QQ to really go that often in her turn because she want more attack on every single hit. She like if you do speed boot, she's gonna take a lot less damage, and especially now you have her E6, and that follow-up attack have a 24% chance to double the damage, plus on top of this 20% defense ignore. So the more attack, this attack percentage from your boot is gonna scale much better compared to anyone else, because how the damage formula works is that if you have more, the more of the other multiplier that you have in your character build, the better attack percent scales overall in the overall damage boost. So let's say for example, I have like a total of 200% multiplier, any other damage multiplier, and this attack boost give me like 500 attack more. So 500 times 200%, that is 1000 damage overall boost. If I have now 300% of the other multiplier total in my build, the same 500 attack extra stats is going to give me up 1500 damage boost overall. So that's why the more of the other multiplier you have, the better attack scales. And that's why QQ1 attack boot here is because, again, her E4 is literally have a chance to double her damage. And also like no defense here is really good. So she have a lot of other, and also her trace, this one give her a lot of damage bonus. And this also 10% extra 10%. So this is like what 31% every stack. So she have a ton of damage bonus. So you want to stack attack on her as much as possible. That's why attack boot is what I recommend here. Quantum damage bonus, this one is no, it's really don't need to explain, right? And as for the rope is you have a two choice, either attack percent or break effect. Now, break effect is for those who have weaker QQ, meaning that you don't have E4 at least, because E4 is her main damage bonus from. If you don't have E4, QQ is not a great DPS unit, honestly. As a free-to-play, you can still use her, I use her, but she's not as great for damage-wise. So that's why making a break effect rope on a free-to-play weak QQ to be the good choice here. It's because that she's being a quantum element, and quantum element break hurts a lot. Quantum element hurt the damage-wise is ranking number 2 out of all 7 units. Right, it's ranking number 2. That's why if you have a break effect main stat rope on QQ, even though your QQ is not doing much direct damage, but her break damage is going to be insane. And that can still carry you hard through a lot of difficult dungeon. QQ is supposed to go last, so E6 QQ should be main DPS. Yes, E6 QQ should be main DPS. If you don't have E4, that would mean you're going to have E0 or to E3, then you are supposed to make your QQ to be sub DPS instead. And yes, QQ should be going last because you want to get all the buff first from your teammate, all the buff and all the debuff, so that every hit she do is going to do massive damage, and even have a chance from her E4 to do double the damage. So yeah, for you, Isa, you should using a attack main stat rope on here as well. So you have attack, quantum damage, attack, crit, and the attack and HP here. That's for the main stat. And for a the two set bonus, what set should you use? QQ. I would say either the space sealing station or the inner cell. I cannot pronounce this. The crit. I'll just call it the crit set. Crit set or the attack set. Either one work. Depending on which one you have a better substat, I would say. The set bonus is very similar. 8% crit rate versus 12% attack. And because you are not going to have 120 speed on your own, because you're not using a speed boot, you are not going to get the second part here for the another 12%. You only have the first part. So 12% attack versus 8% crit rate. But for the crit set, if you have a 50% or higher crit rate, your ultimate also do 15%. Ultimate and follow-up to do 15% more damage. So this part is actually huge for you, Isa, because again, your E4 is considered follow-up attack. So you're going to benefit both from your E4 follow-up attack and your ultimate to do 15% more damage. So I think the crit set is actually the best set for you, not the attack set. How's Bronya and the QQ team up be? Third, then Bronya be last. So you mean you want to use your QQ as third, and then you want to use your Bronya as fourth to make your QQ move again immediately? Is that what you mean? If so, I think that might not gonna be working, because what's happening is that you have your QQ move as the third position, and then you're gonna draw a card using your skill point. You get 4 of the same kind. You pop it with your enhanced attack, and now you have no card in your hand. And then it's your Bronya's turn. Your Bronya's turn, your QQ draw 1 card. So you have 1 card in your hand. Your Bronya uses her skill to make QQ move up immediately. It's her turn now. But your QQ is only having 2 cards in her hand right now. Only 2. So what does that mean? You need to use your skill to draw more cards in order to use another enhanced attack, right? How many skill points are you using right now? You are using so many skill points to a point that you literally burn everything just for 2 enhanced basic attack. That is not great. So what QQ should be doing is she actually does not want to pair up with Bronya, I would say. Unless you are doing a 0 cycle run challenge, a speed run, then Bronya is like a must-have, and you need to manage your skill point very well and hope RNG give you the good card. But in normal cases, that comp is going to burn your skill points so fast to a point that you will no longer able to keep up with skill point management. Yeah, I don't think Bronya is a good fit for QQ. Anyone else but Bronya. Did you see the new set from 1.2 live stream? It's like the crit rate set, crit with basic attack. Yeah, I saw it. That set, like that's literally the same thing as legit what this set. Oh no, that's the crit damage. Which one is crit damage? This one? Yeah. That set in 1.2 is literally what this set in Close Beta 3 supposed to have. Exactly the same. In Close Beta, they do not have crit damage set at all. They have 2 set with the crit rate 8%, and the second one is says when the crit rate is above 80%, and your basic attack and skill do 15% more damage. That is exactly the same. So I'm not like surprised with that set coming this soon. I think that set is great, but the requirement to have 80% crit rate or higher is a little too much. It's actually too much, not a little, just a lot. Actually, a lot too much. So if they don't change that down to 50, if they stay at 80% crit rate, that is not gonna be good, I would say. I mean, not good for most people, because it's very hard for you to get 80% crit rate or higher without. Yeah, in the closed beta it was 80. That's why it's insane. It's actually really hard to reach that point, and no one's using the set because the requirement is so high, so ridiculous. And then they changed it in the official release. They changed that completely. This set into a crit damage set instead. So I think they might change it in the 1.2. Hopefully they do. Just lower the threshold. 70%. Okay, 70% is acceptable, but still hard. That means you literally you must have a crit rate chest, 100%. You must have this, and also either your character have a crit rate in your trace build, or you're running a light cone that give you crit rate. Otherwise, you must rely so much on your Radic substat to give you crit rate to reach that 70%. Because if you look at me right now, my Dan he is only 50% crit rate. Because he's using a crit damage chest. So if you're not using a crit rate set chest at all, it's almost impossible to reach over 70 crit rate, right? So that 1-to-2 ratio, if you have 70% crit rate, that 1-to-2 ratio is very hard to balance off because you really rely on your substats. And then that damage bonus from basic and skill use. I would say it's very good. It's better than the ultimate version. But is it worth it? It will really depend. It really depends. I think, yeah, lower down to 70 is better. It's a good move for them. It's a good move. But speaking of 1.2 though, I'm actually more hype for the speed version. The other Radic that give you speed. That said, oh my god, literally all the support is gonna use that. No question. Every single support is gonna use that set and call it a day. No one's gonna use the muscular set anymore. Oh, what is it? The muscular set? No one's gonna use this anymore. Everyone just use that speed set. If they give more than 6% speed, of course. That is a given. But yeah, I'm hyped for that to come out. I'm gonna live in that domain to grind for one set for each of my support. Oh yeah. Okay, back to QQ. Lastly. So we explained for you E6, right? You want to use the crit set because of the not this one. Where's here. Yeah, because you have E4, which is counter follow up. So you want to use this crit set, 2 set keys here. And as for substats, pretty simple. Just you mainly want crit, right? As just like any other DPS, you mainly just want crit as your first priority in your substat. And after that, second priority is, I would say, attack percent as your second priority here. And after that, third priority can be either the flat attack or speed. Substat is okay, it's acceptable. It's just you don't need speed, but it's nice to have still, because only having speed substat is not going to make your QQ go faster than any other support in your team. And you just want your support to go first before your QQ every single turn. That is the key. And also break effect. Break effect substat on QQ is actually very, very nice to have. Even though you are not building a break effect main stat rope here, like I'm doing right now, the substat for break effect can still help her to do a lot more damage if she is the one to trigger break on your team. And if your team does not have any real breaker that build break effect. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, sorry, I dropped my phone. And lastly, for the weapon, free to play. Well, the best weapon obviously was the Before Dawn. If you have it, the 5-star. If not, 4-star. I would say this one is the most basic but the most okay one to use out of all the 4-star. It just gives you element damage bonus and increase attack when you defeat an enemy. So assuming in Forgotten Hall, Memory of Chaos, you don't defeat enemy. So the second half is completely useless. You're only fighting boss. But 24% damage bonus still very nice compared to anything else. Because like this one, it only boosts your ultimate damage. But your main damage source is not from your ultimate. It's from your enhanced basic attack. So this one is meh. And then this one, follow attack, yeah, it's nice. But again, your E4 is only have a 24% chance to pop it. It's not guaranteed. And whenever you are not popping it, you are not doing follow attack. So this one is gamble. If you use this one, when you pop the E4, it's going to do insane damage. But if you don't pop the E4, you're going to do no damage. So overall, average out, balance off, you're going to do average damage. So this one, still better. This one, increased attack, and also when you defeat enemy, yeah, assuming you don't defeat enemy, right? Because it's like, assuming you don't defeat enemy in Memory of Chaos, you only get 16% attack. That's very little compared to 24% damage. And lastly, 3-star, we don't need to mention anything. The base stat sucks, and this damage is nothing compared to the 4-star. Any other weapon we have? Check data bank. Checking the data bank. This was that one. This one? Oh, this is the paid version though. You get this from the paid battle pass. So this one, ideally it should be the best for 4-star for QQ because how much her energy is. QQ has what? I think QQ has the most energy requirement for her ultimate. 140 max energy. She has the most max energy out of all characters. So if your QQ is using that weapon, that Lycon, the 4-star, this one, if you have this one it's going to be better than Breakfast Lycon because of this 0.2 times 140. That is like what? 28%? 28% damage bonus already, but this is only S1, Supervision 1. While the Breakfast at Supervision 1 was only 12%. 24% was the max supervision. So this one at max supervision is going to be 28%, double that. It's like what? 56% damage bonus. So this one will be a lot more. But again, this one is paid version. So I'm not going to talk much about it. And yeah, so in the end, the Breakfast, it's just her best in slot, free to play 4-star version icon to use. It's the most constant, the most consistent icon, or the most consistent buff. Who the heck has 160 energy? No one. At this point, no one. I think in the future, there might be some of the new characters that will have 160 energy. But as for now, no one has 160. 140 is the highest, which is QQ. Yep. And about her traits, Ascension skill, nothing much here. It's just that increase the speed for 1 turn after using the enhanced basic attack. There's one, whatever. This one is big though. Whenever you use your skill, it increase the damage boost. The effect affected by that is gonna boost by extra 10%. Meaning, it's a straight up plus 10% here. So whatever number it shows here, it's just plus 10. For this. So it becomes 31%. And stack up to 4 times. So 31 times 4, 124% damage boost. Oh yeah, getting 160 energy is a pain. Oh, I feel it. I totally feel it. Now getting 140 140 energy is already a pain. It's already a very pain with our energy regeneration rope. And you know what's even more painful? For those people who have 160 energy and using that light cone, you are supposed to be a DPS, right? You are not supposed to be a support because that light cone gives you damage boost. Support does not need damage. So only DPS will use that light cone. What does that mean? That means that your DPS is going to use attack main stat rope. Most likely. You are not going to use an energy main stat rope on your DPS. That makes the energy regen even harder and even more annoying. Oh yeah. I don't see, like, I see the potential of that icon, but I don't see the popularity of that icon. It's not gonna be that good. You know. And last one, Ascension skill, restore 1 skill point when she uses her skill. This effect can only trigger 1 time per battle. So this one is 1 time per battle, meaning you basically just get 1 free skill point for the entire fight. That's it. You can say this is good, but because only 1 time per battle, I say this one is whatever. Like, it's good to have. Of course you want to get it. It's 1 free skill point, but it's nothing crazy. And as for Trace skill level, you want to mainly focus on leveling up her basic attack. That's her main butter and juice, where her damage comes from. You want to max out if possible. I'm not maxed yet, I don't have the material, but you want to max it out if you are making her as your main carry. And then her ultimate is whatever. The damage, when you upgrade it, you only get the damage for the ultimate itself. It's whatever, and it's only 10% for each. So I will just leave it at level 6 and done. Her skill, which give more damage bonus per stack. However, the increment is very low. You can see I increase only 1% from level 6 to level 7. And yeah, sure, it stack up to 4 times. So meaning that 1% times 4 is a 4% boost. But again, you are not able to control how many stack you get. And because of that reason, this is not 4%. It's like 1 to 4% boost. So it's not that worth to max it out. I would say only leave it at level 6. Again, only leave it at level 6. Lastly, her talent. When you upgrade it, you get more attack when you have her enhanced basic attack ready. It says 4% from level 6 to level 7. So this one, because it's boosting her attack, it's not boosting her damage bonus. So it's not as great. I would say level 6 or level 7 at most. Don't go past level 7. Because once you pass level 7 of your talent, or your skill, or your ultimate, you will need the special material that you can get from your weekly boss, which is like this thing. You need this thing. I forgot which one it is, but you need these things to upgrade past level 8. And because of that reason, you don't want to level her talent up to past level 8. At most, level 7. So yeah, that's everything. Actually, yeah, that is everything about Xingque. So summary: if you have E4 or higher Xingque, you want to make her as a main DPS. If you have E0 or E3, up to E3, then she is a weak one. So you just want to make her as a sub DPS, which is how I built her right now at E0. She is E0 for me here. And I am building her as a sub DPS, meaning that I went with a break effect main stat rope and also hunt for break effect substat as first priority. So she will have a break effect build, but her attack and a crit is still acceptable because that's the second priority. And I still use the 4 quantum set here. So her direct damage is going to be okay, but her break damage is going to be insane. That helps a lot with my battle. And just to show you how much damage that she can do, with her break. Let's test it in a memory chaos right now. Which one? Physical? Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna form a team that will specifically counter all the elements, so I can break the bar faster. So I need March 7, us, Natasha, QQ, and I'll say Pella. Actually, no, Pella has a defense now. That's cheating. That's cheating. I'm not gonna use Pella. Susan. Oh, Susan. Okay. Thanks. I will try to slowly level my QQ. I'm doing Forgotten Hall 13 right now, and I'm still loose. It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. It takes years to get there. Not just basic here. Yeah. Not the sure. Okay, now I'm just gonna show you how much damage of her break do with my 107% break effect, and you can take it as a reference. Okay. Waiting for her turn to be up. Okay, first, real quick. I'm building Dan as on DPS, and the game give me Susan. Hey, Susan and Dan, they are right now, they're both really good as 4-star on DPS. I built both on this account. I've been building both because you need 2 teams, right? Remember, chaos, you're going to need 2 teams eventually. So that means you need 2 DPS on a different team. Dan is gonna be one, and Susan is my other one. So yeah, it's fine. You should build both actually. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm gonna break the boss, right? So about quantum break, if you don't know it yet, once you break it, the break effect stat is going to increase the delay. The break effect is going to increase the delay caused by quantum break as well as imaginary break, but it will not. Okay, break effects will not help with the action delay for any other element break except quantum and imaginary. So that's why for quantum break, once I break it, you can see the action value for this boss. This is the boss, right? He has a 32 right now. If I break it, he will go down to 83. Normally, if you break with any other element, it will only go down by 25% of the current action gauge. But now this one, you see like it go down by what? From 32 to 83. That is like over 100% delay. That's insane. That's the first thing. The first good thing about break effect. And the second thing is, after you break it, you see that was like what, 3,000? 6,000 was from my base, for my damage. So it was 3,000 on break. And you apply the enchantment debuff on the boss. It says receive additional quantum damage at the start of the next turn, and this additional damage is increased when entangled enemy are attacked, and this effect can stack up 5 times. Now he only have 1 stack. So meaning that before the enemy turn is back up, if you attack him 5 times now, so you have 1 stack, watch one, I'm gonna attack here, now become 2 stack, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, 5 stacks. Now the boss have 5 stacks. This is the max you can go, and this damage is going to be 5 times of the original damage. And this damage scale with your break effect, which is my QQ, 107% break effect here. Now let's see how much damage I do for this break damage, the DOT. Okay, so this would be like your total break damage. The initial 3,000 plus this damage. And let's see how much this is. The boss is gonna come back up and let's see how much damage he's doing. 38k. 38k plus that 3k initially, that's 41k. So meaning you break with QQ once, you do an extra 41k damage to the enemy. Just one break. For only having 107% break effect stat. Is that a lot? Well, how much damage she's doing by herself in comparison. It is. I have I'm gonna draw 2 cards. 7.8k. 7.8. No crit. And then if I do my ult here. 4.5. No crit. So if I crit, it's gonna be like what? 10k? No, that's more than that. Like 12k ish. 12k plus 7k. So like 20k at most. From a enhanced blast attack plus ultimate. It's only 20k. But that one break was 41k. So that's equivalent to my QQ doing 2 ultimate plus 2 enhanced blaze attack. Or just 1 break. Do you think that's a lot of damage? I don't know you, but I think that's actually a lot of damage. Oh yeah. So that's why for a weak QQ you want to build break effect means stats and make her as a sub DPS. So you want to bring another real DPS like Susan, for example here, to do a good damage. Alright, you're waiting for your resource. I'm bone dry and the hunt arrow material. Oh yeah, I've been hot. I farmed that dungeon a lot as well. Or because I'm building both Danheng and Susang at the same time on this free-to-play account. You can see my trace is level 8. Oh, and you can see at level 8 you need this special material, the weekly material, to upgrade further. So yeah, I have her level 8 skill and also my Danheng. I max his basic attack, I max the ultimate, and then level 8 on the rest. So yeah, I also, and I'm trying to get this as well. Just 8% attack stats. Almost there. But yeah, I feel your pain. So yeah, that's about it for QQ. Do you guys have any other questions before I log off? It's Susang guy next. What server you on? I'm on NA server. Susang guy. Okay, real quick. Susang is also, I don't need to explain her ability, right? Reverie, do you know her basic mechanics? If you know her basic mechanic, I don't need to explain her how she works. I can just explain her build and go over her idol pretty much, right? You thought I'm on Asia server? Why? Yeah, I'm on NA. Okay. Alright. So let me go over a build first real quick. So first of all, Lycon. Right here. Lycon hunt. Alright. Oh yeah, my voice. True. Oh, I'm living in America, so of course I'm gonna play in NA. I can't play in Asia. The ping. Also, if you're playing in Asia, which meaning, wait, you talking about Asia meaning like China server, or is it actually global Asia? I think the global Asia is just too much pain for me. And also, SCA, yeah, it's too much pain. And also, no one's playing in that server. At least in NA, I got some friends playing NA. Yep. Alright. So, Susang. You know what? Let me take a small break actually. Let me take a small bathroom break real quick. and I'll be back in a minute or so, and then I'll go over in Susang. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, take your time. Thanks. Assuming you're a global player from Extra 3. Yeah, I'm also NA in Honkai Impact. Alright, so here we go on Susang. Her best in slot icon. Not gonna mention on any of the gacha one. To win is obviously the 5-star that we have for free, which is this one that you get it from Hertar shop from Simulator Universe. It increases crit rate and also further increase crit rate when the enemy is below half health. Now when you defeat enemy, you gain a 10%. So assuming you don't defeat enemy, the second part doesn't matter, you're already getting 16% crit rate as Supervision 1. That is already a very, very good bonus compared to anything else, because crit rate is something really hard to get. So this one will be the best icon for Susang. Actually, this is the best icon for any hunt DPS character for free-to-play option. If you don't have this, then I would say the second best is this one, Swordplay. Each time you hit the same target, damage dealt is increased by 8%. Stack up to 5 times. So as Supervision 1, you already have 40% damage when you are attacking the same target, which is single target. In the hunt character, they usually specialize in single target damage. So that's already fitting them the best. Now, this thing is a tricky part. It says every time you do damage to it, you increase 8%. Okay, for each time it hits. So, what do you think will happen if I use my either Susang skill or Dahan skill? Actually, do I have the weapon right now? Can I showcase right now? It's better to showcase than just. Yeah, I do have it. Alright, let me show you this. Let me show you what I mean. This weapon. The good part about this weapon. Alright, so now I don't have anything yet, right? My Lycon is gonna give me damage boost. So what do you think will happen if I'm gonna use my Dahan basic attack here? against the boss. What do you guys think? How many stack would I get from the Lycon? How many stack would I get? Any guess? 1 stack. Okay, let's see. Basic attack. Damage boost 8% up to 5 times. I got 2 stack. Why was that 2 stack? Why is that 2 stack? It's because let me wait for my Dahan turn again. And I'll show you again in slow motion this time. Gotta wait for my Dahan's turn up. Alright, down you up. So I'm doing slow motion this time. Again, I have currently have 2 stack, right? 2 stack. I do basic attack again. Watch. 1, 2. His basic attack is doing 2 hits. And his basic attack is doing 2 hits. So meaning he get 2 stack per basic attack. And this Lycon says for each time the wearer hit the enemy, he get the stat. So Dahan just hit 2 times from his basic attack, meaning that Dahan gonna get 2 stat from it for every basic attack use. So that's why this weapon is so insane. As for 4-star, it's the best 4-star weapon for any hunt character. Not any, some specific one that can do multi-hit. If your hunt character can do multi-hit from a single skill use, they benefit the most. Yep, it's literally 1 damage instant per stack. So meaning that if I'm gonna use my Dahan, the skill this time, over here real quick. If I'm gonna use his skill, watch how many stat he gains. It's insane. But I know we're not talking about Dahan here. I'm sorry guys. We're talking about Susan. I will go over Susan real quick, but I'm explaining how this Lycon work. So Dahan is the best. Is the best one to demonstrate. Again, here we have 0 stack, starting with 0 stack. If I use his skill, watch how many hits I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He gets 4 stack from a single skill use. 4 stack. And that's why this Lycon is so insane for free to play. And the more multi-hit you have of a character, the faster this is gonna stack, and the stronger this is gonna become. Yup, a character that can attack multiple times is gonna benefit the most from this Lycon. And Dahan picks the most. The Su Zhang, she does not lose it. She does not lose. Watch how many hits Su Zhang can do. For that purpose, I need a King Yun here to help me get the energy. Let me show how many he can hit. Did he attack 4 times? That attack 2 times. I don't have ZD, unfortunately. I don't know how many times she attacked. Does she attack 4 times? If she does, then ZD is going to benefit a lot from that icon as well. Yeah, Sam, I'm going to explain that later. I'm going to explain all the pros first about the icon and then explain the con later. Yep. Let me show about Susan first. Waiting for her turn. Alright, so we all know her basic attack only do 1 hit. That's no big deal. I want to show is her skill here. So I'm going to show her skill. 1, 2. 2 hits. Is it 2 stack? Yep, it is 2 stack. So her skill is going to do 2 hits with a 33% chance to get another hit in it. So she can do 2 or 3 hits with her skill. However, if she have her ultimate up, after she uses her ultimate, the ultimate is one hit, right? Doesn't really matter here. It's one big hit. Yep. So now, when her turn's next, after she uses her ultimate here, she is going to guarantee the trigger if the enemy is down, and also increase the trigger chance for 2 extra chance for 2 turns. Meaning that when she uses her skill, she can do between 2 hits to 5 hits. She can now have a chance to do 5 hits max if the enemy is break. So if I don't break right now, I have to 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4 hits already. So that's RNG. But if the enemy is break, after it's break, and then you use her skill again, then Susan is able to do a guarantee 5 hit right there. So for Susan, using this Lycon is also a very good choice. Wait, sword stance does not count as a hit for sword play. Hold up. Let me try again. Okay, great. Let me try right off the bat. Okay, let me try. So I have nothing here. 1, 2, 3. Two stack. Oh. Is it because additional damage cause the target being hit to take extra damage, which is not considered an attack? Oh wow. Okay. You know this was additional damage this whole time. Okay. Right. Because it's not considered an attack. That is not gonna trigger a sword dance. A sword play. Because you need to trigger an attack in order to do that. So for Susan's guarantee 2 stack every time she uses her skill. And 1 stack for basic and ultimate. So it's not as great as Danheng for using this Lycon. However, it just means that it is slower to reach the max 5 stack for using it. But once you reach the 5 stack, it is 40% bonus compared to any other 4-star Lycon that we have. And in comparison, what do we have here? This one gives you attack 16% and a 12% crit rate, but only if there are 2 or fewer enemy on the field. So this one, if you're actually fighting the fight that's actually only 2 enemy on field or lower, this one could be on par with swordplay at max stack, which is 40% damage bonus. But that's only if you have 2 or less. If the enemy has summoned a minion, then this part, the second half part, is screwed, which is what makes this one the most important part is the crit rate, the second half. Yeah, right. Every day you learn a new thing. I learned a new thing too just now from saying. Switch Danheng and Susan Lycon. Yeah. Danheng definitely benefit more from this one. And this one's still the best for any hunt DPS. The last one we have, 4-star. It gives you speed boost and damage boost. But it will wear off when you take damage. And this will disappear, and it will resume the effect after the end of the next turn. So meaning that if you use this icon, you want to not get damage. Okay, that is different than not get hit. When you get hit and you have a shield on, you will not lose health, right? So that means you will not lose this buff. And if you don't have a shield, of course you're gonna take a hit. Even though you don't get hit, you take the damage over time. You still take damage, but you lose this buff. So this one, if you use this icon, you must pair up with a shielder. And you must shield that DPS with your shielding. But currently, our shielder free to play is March 7. And March 7 shield draws aggro. Meaning that your DPS character is gonna get a lot and easily break the shield. So it's not good. I would say that like this icon would be like one of the worst used right now. But it's a free one. So and if you are able to manipulate the aggro system to somehow making your DPS not get damage at all, then this one can be really good because it gives you a speed boost and damage boost. Speed boost is something very hard to come across. Currently we have 4 hunt characters. Do we? I don't remember. Yeah, we have 4. And 2 is done on this 4-star. So out of these 4, Yan Qin is also a great choice for that swordplay. Because his skill, I remember he hit 4 times also. 3 or 4 times. Same as Dan Heng. A lot. Forgot. I honestly forgot. I think her skill hits 3 times, right? Zan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think her skill hits 3 times. And her basic attack hits 2 times. So for the sword play at max stack, it is still, I would say, still the best 4-star icon of the other ones. But it is only at max stack. And the downside about the sword play is that, just like Zan said earlier, it only works when you're attacking the same target. Once your character start attacking the second target, you will immediately lose all the stats and counting from zero again. So that's why if you're using swordplay and there is 2 boss, you want to have your hunt character only focusing on 1 boss, only trying to take him down fast, and then moving on to the second boss. If for whatever reason during the fight you must change your attack target from boss A to boss B, you will lose this 5 stack immediately. And that's the downside of this icon. But you can say the same thing as for the other 4-star icon. They all have their weakness part in a situational case. So which one you prefer more? It really depends on your playstyle, I would say. But overall, I would say that overall, the most damage boost you can gain, assuming there is no downside at all, assuming the requirement they all satisfy 100%, I would say the swordplay has the most damage boost. And second is this one, Dan Heng one. Yeah, you only lose after the first hit. The first hit still have it, but after the first hit, it will consider you attacking the second target, and then you will start from 0 and only get 1 stack for the second hit. But for the people like Dan Heng, Su Sang, Yan Qin, and even Zed, all of them have multi-hit skill. So when you use their skill, you only benefit for the first hit, but the first hit is not the entire damage of your skill. It's like 1/4 of your damage. It's very little. Unless you're using your ultimate, the 1 big damage ultimate on the second target, then yeah, it worked. But sure, it worked, but you still lose the buff afterward. And in the long term, when you are fighting a fight, and long term wise, you need to spend time to build up more stacks after it. And is that worth it? That's really up to you. If you are someone like Dan Heng who can build up your stacks so insanely fast with just 1 skill use, or Zeta, then sure, it's worth it. it doesn't really matter. You gain your stat back so fast anyway. But for Susang, who only have 2 stack from her skill, it's very slow. So maybe for Susang, it's better to use the 5-star. Just use the 5-star if you have it, and let Dan Heng have the sword play. That would be the best choice, I would say. Okay. Traces here, nothing much. Basic attack, you don't need to level up at all. Just let's stay at level 1. Talent, it increased speed. That's nice, but the increment is so little. It's only like what 0.5% every level. Early level, later level is like 0.6 something or 0.7. It's very low. I would say it's not worth upgrading the talent much. Like level 3 or at most level 6 at most for the talent. I even don't upgrade it, and I only stay at level 3 and call it a day. It's not that much of an upgrade. Ultimate here, you get damage multiplier and attack buff, but the attack buff is only 1% every level. That is very little. So I will stay at level 6. You can go up to level 7, or in my case, I went up to level 8 because she's one of the main DPS. I don't have any other DPS besides him, Susang and Dan Heng in this account. So I got the level her up to do more damage. But normally, if you don't have that many resources, I would say just stay at level 6 ultimate, and that's good enough. Really good enough. Skill is her main damage source come from. You want to level up the skill as high as possible if you really want to main her. So skill comes the most priority. I would say at level 7, minimum level 7, level 8 if possible, or even level up higher if you can. But yeah, level 8 for me right now is good enough. But yeah, you should max it out if possible. And this one, nothing special, just reduce the chance of being attacked when she's below half health. And then for every sword stance trigger, the damage dealt is increased. Okay, yeah. Nice little bonus. And after using basic or skill, if there are enemies on the field with weakness break, her action is advanced forward by 15%. Now this one is very good to have. You should aim to get this. This is the last ascension skill, which meaning that you only unlock this after the 6th ascension. So you should raise her to level 70/80 and unlock this skill. Because action forward, anything with action forward, they are just so good. They give you potentially 1 more extra turn for the entire fight, or even 2 if you pop it more often. That is a lot. The more turns you have, the more damage you do. And the more skill point also. Alright, moving down to the relic. Relic part, 4-set physical set. That's pretty much the same for any physical DPS. And the 2-set, again, you can use either the crit rate or the attack set. Now for Susang, her speed is normally really high, thanks to the trace, I believe. Which one is that? I remember this one trait that gave her speed. Oh, this one, yeah, talent. So sometimes when she have this buff, she can also have the speed buff, which make her surpass the 120 speed requirement for the attack set, making her get 12% more attack when the enemy is broken, weakness broken. That's great. But the crit rate set is not bad also, because they also increase her ultimate damage by 15%, 8% crit rate. It's very, I would say like crit rate for most DPS character is better than attack percent just in general. But again, that would in the end of the day, it really comes off down to which one you have a better substat. Main stats wise, same as any DPS, you want crit, either crit rate or crit damage, whichever one you get a better substat with. The shoes you want attack as well, because DPS. You can go with a speed shoes, but I would say again, pretty much the same reason as QQ. That's why attack shoes is a better choice than speed shoes. Physical damage here, no question. And the rope here, again, like you can either go attack percent or break effect. Attack percent is for the one that you have a much stronger Susang, main DPS, then you want attack here. If you're building her as a sub DPS, because physical element is ranking number 1 in the break damage. So if you break with physical, you're even doing more damage overall than quantum break. So meaning that a break effect means that rope on Susang is also a very cheap damage source come from. And also because how fast Susang can break with her skill. Her ultimate here allow her to immediately advance forward 100% herself. See, he said immediately she takes action again. So that means she can do a skill, ulti, and skill right right together. So that means that's gonna be like what, 2 bar, 2 weakness break bar for skill, 3 bar from ultimate, and 2 bar from skill again. That is total of 7 break bar to an enemy in one single turn. And what's the comparison? The best comparison I can think about is like Zede or Danheng, who do 2 break bar from skill and 3 break bar from ultimate, and that's it. That's 5 bars total. So yeah, so that's why for Susang, she can break a lot. The most, she's the best breaker in the game. She break the most bar, meaning that she's the easiest to trigger break. And once she trigger break, she's being a physical element, meaning that she will do the most break damage out of all the elements. And that's why having break effect on Susang can be a very good sub DPS source. In your honest opinion, is speed really important? I just don't like the rope, the light rope that require you to get 120 speed to get a small attack boost. You mean the space station one? This one? 120? So, honest opinion, speed is important. It's actually very important. However, it is better to get speed from your support skill compared to your Radit build, because especially main DPS. So what does that mean? If you are able, how do I illustrate this? So imagine in a fight, normally I am able to move, let's say 5 turns. Okay, every turn I'm doing 100 damage. So in 5 turns I'm doing 500 damage total, and that's the end of the fight already. Okay, that's my DPS damage output, total damage output 500. Now, if I use a speed shoot here instead of attack shoot, I am able to get 1 extra turn in that fight, so I become 6 turns now total. However, every hit, my damage has dropped from 100 damage to something like, let's say like 70 damage. So 70 times 6, 420 total damage. Versus originally I'm doing 100 damage times 5, that's 500 damage. Obviously the attack shoes is better in that case, right? However, if I am able to have a support like Asta, for example, Asta ultimate give my entire team a speed boost, and I'm able to still use an attack shoes on my DPS, so still doing 100 damage. But because of this Asta, I'm able to have 6 turns now without sacrificing the attack boost, the attack shoes. So now I'm doing 6 turns times 100 damage, 600 damage. That 600 damage is not likely to come from having like a 20% or 30% attack boost in your team. So that's why I think speed is very, very important in turn-based game. But only if you can afford it without trading off too much of your damage. So that's why I think the talent for Susang is not worth to upgrade further, because the speed boost is very, very little. However, Asta, if you have Asta here, and you have Asta to push your entire team's speed, even though the speed boost is not much as well, but if you have Asta's speed boost for your DPS who are already using the attack set, they gain a free 12% attack from the right set, which is free stuff. So what am I saying? Yeah. So conclusion, right? Conclusion. For DPS, it's not worth it to use a speed boot over attack boot, because attack gives you a more damage output overall, thanks to how many other multiplier you already have as a DPS unit. Okay? But if you are using a support, let's say, like a support here, you should always use a speed boot, like almost always, for any support who's not doing damage themselves, because they are not trading off damage with your speed. And having more speed on your support, meaning that you are able to, you are able to use this HP set, which makes you increase 8% attack for all allies if you have 120 more speed. And this is like basically only happening because you're using a speed boot. So for support, you should always go for speed boot to give your entire team more attack, and also the more speed, meaning the more turns, and the more turns meaning the support is able to use more of their basic attack, and they can be generating more skill point for your entire party versus your DPS role. Imagine your DPS have more turns within the fight. Yeah, you are doing more damage, right? But at the same time, you are also consuming more of your skill point. What does that mean? You need your support to move even more in order to generate the skill point back for your DPS to use it if you are building a speedy DPS. So normally, right, the keyword normally, you don't want speed boot on DPS unit, and you just want to build attack boot so that you can do heavier attack, more damage on every single hit. And also, not to mention, the more turns you have in your DPS, meaning the faster they're gonna wear out the buff from your support, like Tin Yun, right? So, and that also means your Tin Yun has to buff your DPS a lot more often. So they will be using more skill point to refresh the buff more often, and your DPS is going to need more skill point to do damage because they have more turns. So overall and all, it's like a lose-lose situation. There is exception though. One exception I can think about very easily is Jin Yuan, even though I don't have him. But Jin Yuan is the one that can consider building speed, because how his cannon works here, the lightning lore required to build up a stack. That's like a different story. So the short answer is having a speedy Jin Yuan here is able to have him move one extra turn before the lightning lord move, and that will give the lightning lord two or three more stacks if you're using one more skill from Jin Yuan here, or 2 stack. You give the lightning lord 2 more stack than normal, and because of that 2 stack is arguably be better, because 2 stack is what a lot, 66% more damage at level 1. So Jin Yuan is the exception here who can build speed as a DPS. But normally for most DPS unit, you don't want for most main DPS unit, you don't want speed boot. You want to have attack boot. But for the sub DPS like a break effect servo. Okay. For in this case, a speed boot is okay because again, sub DPS means they are not doing much of the direct damage on themselves. They are doing break damage instead. So break damage require you to break the enemy bar, right? Obviously. But that means the faster you break the enemy bar, equal the more often you're gonna break the enemy in the entire fight. Equal the more break damage overall in the entire fight. And that benefit more from having break effect main stats. And that is why for a sub DPS servo, a speed boot is acceptable. For me, unfortunately, for this account I am building my servo as a sub DPS, not main, but I don't have a speed boot. However, luckily I got a very lucky roll on the speed substat on this attack boot, and that's why I'm using it, and I still passed the 120 threshold, and that's why I'm using the attack bonus here. And I get the full 24% attack bonus from this one. So yeah, that's about speed. My opinion about speed. Okay, back to Susan. I will cover this. The crit, main stat crit, attack, physical, and yeah, break effect. We covered this already. Cover everything. I don't know. After using skill against a weakless broken enemy, regenerate 1 skill 1. This E1 is her best idol. You want to have this if you want to main Susan. It's like a must have. This is huge. It's not like QQ where it's once per battle. It's like every time you use a skill, you get 1 skill point back. But this does not mean you are +1 on your skill point when you use your skill. It just means you're +0 because using your skill is still going to consume 1 skill point. So it's still -1 on initially you're using your skill, but then you +1 back right after it. So you -1 + 1 is +0. But that means you are not using any skill point on your skill. This is huge, very huge actually. This one, the second one, after sword dance is triggered, the damage taken by Susan is reduced by 20% one turn. This one just makes her a lot more tankier, which is it's okay, it's good, but it's not necessary. Skill level doesn't matter. Break effect increased by 40%. Now this 40% is a addition. It's not multiplication. Meaning that let's say you already have like 60%. You currently have a 60% break effect stats. You have a E4. It will just make your break effect to be 100%. 60 plus 40 equal 100. It's not 60 times 1.4. Okay? A strip addition. This is very nice. And again, it's not necessary. Skill level doesn't matter. Last one. Talent speed boost, which is the talent part, is stackable now. Originally, it's not stackable. Now you can stackable and can stack up to 2 times. Additionally, after entering the battle, she immediately gained 1 stack of talent speed boost. Okay, so as it's stated, you just make your talent speed boost stackable. So how to stack it? Well, what was the condition to trigger it? It says when an enemy has their weakness broken, just simply increase by this. So that means, okay. Now this part, I was like, because I don't have Eidolon 6 yet, I can just really like get this from paper. I'm just reading on this, the text, and so don't quote me on this. I think how this works is that right after you start a battle, you immediately gain 1 stack of talent boost. Meaning that this part, she will always have 1 stack throughout the entire fight. If you have E6. So this 1 stack is always always happening for 2 turns. Now, if you are able to break the enemy before this first one expire, you will get a second one. And that second one will stack above this, on top of this, so that becomes 32%. So once the first one wears off, I actually don't know what's gonna happen. How are you able to stack up 2 times? Are you able to, maybe perhaps you have to break the enemy back to back 2 times in a row before the first buff wears out. So you can stack it with a second one. So I think that is what it means. You must break the enemy a second time before your first buff wears off. The 2 turns wears off. So yeah. This one needs further testing for me, at least. I know there are probably other people who's tested already and they can give you a better answer. For me, since I don't have her E6 yet, I cannot test it at all. And I cannot give you a definite answer for this one. But yeah, that's all about it, about Susan. Hey Ray, how's it going? The server is insane. Yeah, that is my server on my main account. And this one currently I'm just teaching people about the QQ guy and the Susan guy, and this is my free-to-play account. And you can see this server on my free-to-play account is nothing as crazy as my main account. And I'm building I'm building her as a sub DPS on this account. It's doing alright. It's doing alright. It's just nothing as crazy as my main account server. I know. My main account has spent 80% of my trailblazing power to farm for her gear. Literally 80%. It's insane. E6 and speed boost Susan become a speed demon. Interesting. Interesting. But that's only if you can stack it, right? I'm not sure how her E6 stack mechanic works yet. If it's easy to stack it, then I can actually see the potential of it. Being she moves so fast that you're gonna consume so many skill points, but at the same time you're doing so much damage. And the thing is, when you're doing damage, you are doing damage to the boss that are down, currently down. The weakness bar is break, so they take 10%. I mean 11% more extra damage. But yeah. Right. That's about it. Any other question you guys have before I log off for today? You can even just basic attack, because Susan can also have the advance forward. Yeah, true. But she will be doing like basic attack, like become a neutral, or basic attack and skill attack mixing together at the same time. Yeah, that's not gonna maximize her damage output, but that's gonna give you a lot more skill point, to free up the room. That is true. So yeah, Susan E6 can be a game changer, I would say. Just based on what Ray's saying right now, it changed her playstyle. That's why it's a game changer. Is it gonna be an insane boost? I'm not quite sure yet. Again, I don't have her E6 to test it out myself, but I can see the potential. I can totally see the potential. Thank you so much. Alright, very informative stream. Thank you. Thank you for staying here. Thank you all for joining today. Alright, so I think that's it for today's stream. I came a little bit late to the stream. No worry. I think I'm not sure how often I'll be streaming actually. Wait, when is the update? Something 1 day. Very soon. You know what? That means I must do my free-to-play account at least tomorrow. Yeah, it's updated in 1 day. Will I stream tomorrow? I will see. I'm not quite sure. If you guys want to watch my free-to-play account, just do the MoC as much as possible, or is it fun watching it? I'm not sure. Oh, how can you beat the deer MoC 6? What unit you have for that boss? Because if I recall, the deer, you need, see here, an element weakness. Enemy, where's our enemy? Shinzo. Okay, for that you first have this guy, right? At floor 2, wave 2. So you need like either a QQ or servo or a Danheng to beat this guy, right? But the main thing about this guy is, first of all, this guy, he is going to, you know what? Maybe tomorrow I can just show it on my free-to-play account how to clear the deer when I'm gonna do my MoC run anyway. I mean, that's better than explaining just now. Yeah. But in short, are you only worrying about the deer part, or are you also worrying about the wave 2, which is this gatekeeper boss? Where is the deer? Deer is not even here. Because if you're only worrying about the deer, the short answer is you want to just tank. You know, there's an explosion, right? At phase 2, it's gonna explode on you if you cannot kill the golden tree fast enough. And the explosions AoE damage hurts a lot. So you want to have enough tankiness to tank that, to survive that one big explosion and heal back up. That is the basic of how to beat this deer. So meaning that you will want a fire MC plus Natasha healer. Your fire MC use the skill at the perfect timing right before they're gonna explode. Okay, you're gonna time it and you use your skill, because it says here, after using fire MC skill, the damage taken by all allies are reduced by 15% for 1 turn. So this can be a good damage reduction for the entire team to tank that one big explosion. And after that, you use your Natasha ultimate, which you should be saving, to heal everyone back up. That is the basic strategy to deal with the deer. You made out account of mono imaginary. Managed to get incessant rain for wild. Oh, still waiting for Lodja to come home too. Yo, how many days you have left? I think you have a week, right? Yeah, over a week. You got time. You got this, Ray. The gatekeeper is fine. I just hate the deer. It keeps calling the tree. Yeah, exactly. The tree is the problem, but it's a problem that you do not want to deal with. You just want to tank it. That's the key. Because the more time you spend with dealing the trees, the less DPS you're gonna do to the deer. And with time limit here in MoC, so that's not gonna help. You want to focus fire on the deer on every single character. Only attacking the deer. Ignore the tree. Ignore all the tree and use your fire MC skill at the perfect timing so that right before they explode on you on second phase to get that 50% damage reduction. This is the key. And also your Natasha saving up the ultimate for your healing and heal back up after the explosion. That is the second key. Once you master these two keys, The rest of the fight is just a DPS check, pretty much. Yeah, that's a short answer about it. So I'm thinking if I'm going to stream tomorrow, I'm not sure what time for you guys will be better to watch it, but this kind of stream anytime soon. You mean like a Q&A question? I can do Q&A. I mean, it doesn't really have to be like once a week or something, but I'm usually just doing this whenever like someone have a question that need to be answered and it's very hard to type it out. So in that case, I'm doing a stream to answer the question. Normally the question I can answer, if it's just a short answer, I can answer it with just typing. I can just answer in the comment section normally. So yeah, it's like pretty much like on demand. It's not like once a week or something. It's just on demand pretty much. I also need to look for time too. If it's not like if you have a question today, I will do a stream right now or like tomorrow. Has to like make a schedule, you know. Yeah. So whenever someone asks like a question that I cannot answer with the comment typing, then I will do it. So yeah, that's everything about today's stream. Let me know before we go. Do you guys want to watch my free-to-play account just do the Memory of Chaos tomorrow? Or it's fine. If it's fine, I'll just do it off screen because I'm not gonna get that far. The last rotation, I was only able to get to floor 8. So I cleared floor 7 and I got to floor 8. I cannot clear floor 8. And probably I'm just gonna be the same this week. I mean tomorrow as well. It's just one day I'm not gonna try that hard on the free-to-play account. I'm really casual now. Honestly. After I make the achievement, I'm like really casual now. I can retire. Yeah, cool, retire this game. I have other games to play. So do you guys want to watch that? Or if so, I'm thinking it might be the same time. Wait, no, tomorrow, Sunday. It might be like around the same time as today. I would say yeah, around the same time as today. But it will be also very short. I'm just gonna focus on Memory Chaos. I'm not gonna answer much question. I'm gonna focus on Memory Chaos clearing. And once I'm done, I'm going to bed. So yeah. Sure. I can learn a few things from clear. I'm a 61, but can only clear 6 stage. Okay. Then I will make it happen tomorrow then. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Pacific time, which is like right now it's 11:24 for me. So it's like an hour and a half ago. Tomorrow, I'll be doing Memory Chaos on this free-to-play account. And yeah, I'm in the PST, Pacific time zone, Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, right now my time is 11:25 p.m. and tomorrow I'll be doing it starting 10 p.m. which is an hour and a half ago from now. I'm not sure what time is that gonna be for you, but is that gonna work? I think so, right? You were here. You were here at that time, during that time today. I'm not sure if that time's better or is my afternoon time is better. Because my afternoon time, I have more time to do it. If I'm doing it in the night time, I only have 1 hour to do this. I don't know how far I can get. Yeah. Oh, anyway, I'll just do it in the night time for me. So I'll make up a schedule. Actually, nah. We consider it too lazy. I can't. Oh, I'm making my schedule. That means I need to make a thumbnail. Oh no. Okay, anyway. You get the time, right? Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Pacific time, PST. And if you're interested, welcome to join. I'll only be streaming for 1 hour-ish. Trying to figure it out MoC. And yeah. You're earlier than me, 2 hours. So it's okay. See you tomorrow. And thanks for the stream. Thank you so much for joining too. Alright. Thank you so much all. I will be going now. Have a good day or good night, whatever you are. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.